Coach, I don't know if it goes without saying, but Oklahoma, I think they snapped the ball 100 sometimes in the last game. The best defense is not to let them on the field.
It's a good defense for them. Yeah, they, obviously an up-tempo offense, and they do a great job, getting a lot of plays off. So keeping the ball and possessing the ball is important on our part.
Have you ever thought about doing something? I mean, because people have called that the super tempo. Like their pace is dictated by how fast a ref can get the ball on the ground. Have you ever thought about doing that, or is it just?
No, we've thought about doing it. We've actually, in our no-huddle tempo, we have that kind of tempo, but we're still, developing a younger player at quarterback. So, we've been a little bit slower with, our development in it. But we have a similar type of tempo, obviously, but, we don't. They're majoring in it because, they've got a veteran quarterback, and, he's pretty handy at doing, executing that style of offense. So. It's something that we, hope to grow too.
Coach, can you just talk about what this game means in terms of making this season a successful season for you guys and completing your goals?
Well, it's always, when we started the season, the goals are always the players' goals. And, our goal, as a team has always been, because they said it, is to, be the Big 12 champions. And, so it's important for our players. They've worked, obviously, all winter, all summer, worked through the season. And it's an important game for them and for all of us.
Can you talk about what you have going for offense right now compared to going into this game last year?
We're totally different in that, we have, we're healthy. We've got, a pretty good group of, healthy in the offensive line to begin with, healthy at tailback. It's a totally different makeup just because of, where we were at this time last year and where we're at today. We're obviously, still working through quarterback, with Taylor, but, it's just a totally different style of offense that we're running, because of, a lot to do with our health and, the direction we were able to take.
Shawn, you guys went to Dallas last year with Zach with the flexor tendon, Taylor this year with the ankle. Do you feel snake bit at all, or is it just realize you've been in this long enough?
It's just part of the game. It's just part of the game, and every season there's adversity. And, usually the adversity that comes up for a coach and for a team is injuries. And it's how you manage them and how you handle them that counts. You have to, I believe, I've always believed this, you have to tweak yourself to manage wins. And, we've been able to do that. Sometimes it hasn't been romantic or pretty, but we've found a way to do it. And, we've won as a team. Which is, putting every aspect into it, kicking, defense, offense, and found ways to win.
When you're in the process of changing the offense to adjust to the various things that happen, does the 20-hour week become an issue?
For me? For me?
Well, for the players.
I got those 20 hours in the first night.
The limited time you have with them.
Not really. Not really. We're able to, you teach things based on really schemes or concepts or principles, however you would like to refer to it. So really nothing changes for our offensive line, and how we use the different players or pieces is what changes. And we have enough scope and enough vision during spring ball, during 2 days or training camp, and as we develop in a season, to keep those things always handy and always out there in front of our players, and so that when we do make adjustments, the adjustments that we may make during the season because of an injury, for example, it's an easy tweak. We don't. I think the scheme allows us to do that. How we set ourselves up, and then how we prepare ourselves in advance of a season. Spring ball and training camp being those 2 periods.
In last year's Oklahoma game, you said Cody got nervous in the service. How far has he come in that regard, and how much more confident do you feel throwing it?
He's a totally different player. I think you can see as every time he walks out on the field, his demeanor's changed. I thought he managed a really good game this past week. he was really did a nice job in the passing game. We didn't ask him obviously to do a lot, but he was pretty on target with everything he did, and his confidence just continues to grow. And I think his the confidence that his teammates have in him, and then what he's doing. So Cody's a totally different player from a year ago than what he is today.
What do you want to see from Taylor this week in practice that convinces you he can contribute on Saturday?
He needs to be able to run our offense.
And physically run? Is that part of it? Is
Oh, absolutely.
a key part
No, that's right. Yep, exactly right. Yep.
Put a percentage on that?
No, just you see it on film. You see if he can, you see his movement. You'll know if he can.
Now that Cody's gotten his feet wet a little bit and gotten into a little bit of a rhythm, is there even the potential of just exploring the scenario of sitting Taylor because you're going to a bowl, you just don't know which one, so that he'd be 100% for the bowl game?
Not really. We're going to keep we're going to keep it day to day and just see how far Taylor goes and what he can and can't do. And if need be, I think Cody obviously is playing good ball right now, and Zach's healthy again on the men. So has been on the men, but I think is healthy now and ready to go. So I feel good about our quarterback situation.
Paul said you can go all the way up to kickoff. Feel more comfortable if you commit to somebody by Thursday or Friday so the kids...
We'll do whatever's necessary. Bill and I are on the same page. We'll do whatever's necessary. As we build our plans, both guys can equally do what we want to get done in a plan, and we always have plan A and plan B always is ready, always. So it gives us affordability to use time.
Where do you expect Taylor to be today? We used him yesterday. Do you expect him to be out of it today?
I'm sure he'll, every day, Mark's pushing him a little bit more each day. So today I would imagine he'll be out of it, and we'll see what get him moving around a little bit and see what we get.
Can you talk a little bit about Oklahoma's defensive end, Jeremy Beal?
Great player. He reminds me, I think he's one of the best players in our league, obviously, defensively, especially at his position. He's a kid that plays a lot of speed, good hands, gets to the football, a really good football player, and he's been a good football player for a number of years. And I think in this year in particular, you really feel him on the field. And when you watch film, you can, he's a good player. He's like the kid from A&M. Reminds us a lot of him, Devon Miller kid.
Shawn, that threat of Burkhead throwing the ball that you now put on tape, how would you like that to maybe impact the way that teams have to defend you?
Well, they just know that he can. When you know that there's a passing option there, and that we're not afraid to use it. It makes you think a little bit more about how you play that specific package. And we've done a nice job as we've tweaked ourselves. Personnel-wise, things that coaches would look for. We've adjusted ourselves so that we hide our intentions, and that's helped us out. And then it's helped us out, obviously, using him as a thrower.
Now that you've been in the role for a while, can you talk just about maybe because of who used to coach here in Osborne and Callahan, and just the scrutiny that the offensive coordinator in Nebraska goes under?
No. It's just part of the deal. It's just, it's that way everywhere. It's just the way it is. So you just, you don't worry about those things, because those things are things, that we control in our room. We work hard to, put together plans, and, we don't worry about, and at least I don't. I could care less.
When you say it's that way everywhere, is it because football fans are just naturally more easily critical of offensive coaches?
I think so. I think there's probably. I think that's everywhere, though. It can be either side of the ball. It can be either side of the ball. It's just the way our world is today.
Did you see last year's offensive struggle in that Big 12 championship game sort of inspire players during the offseason? Is that kind of a game they looked at? Get better than that?
Yeah, absolutely.
And the offensive line in particular, I guess, just the lack of run in that game. How have you seen them progress this year? Well,
they've come a long way. I think obviously the it's such a different dynamics. That's where you got to begin. The dynamics are so different in that, now you've got 11 guys that you're actually up and you're working. And, depth is a huge factor. And then, the younger players that weren't even involved last year obviously have added to that, and they've added competition. So, the whole makeup of that position in particular is just totally different. Totally different.
More of these championship games than anybody around here. How have you found through the years that the dynamic of a conference championship game at all differs from the rest of the regular season when it hasn't been on your schedule for 2 years?
I think in the championship game, the obvious thing is the atmosphere is just different. The atmosphere, it's a championship atmosphere. You feel it in your preparation, your week's work, and there's a championship at the end. That's what makes it special. And it's just there's electricity. That just that's in the air. I guess that's the best way to describe it. There's a lot of excitement to play, because national, you're going to have a national audience. The stakes for a championship are, the thing that makes it special.
When you watch a game on TV, do you catch yourself second guessing the offensive coordinator?
No, never. You never, you just don't. No, yeah, because there's things that that happen that you don't know. There's a lot of things going on behind the scenes that you don't know. So everybody manages their situation, and the objective is obviously to manage wins and what it takes to win. Sometimes you have a quarterback that's ready, sometimes you don't. A guy that's developing, you try to protect him, or you have injuries in key positions that handle the football, whether it be receiver, running back, whatever it is, and you've got to manage him. So unless you know the man's plight, you never, you don't ever. I don't. I understand what goes on in the business.